The back legs will actually kind of flip around backwards so they can run up or down the street at the same speed.
Really? Wow.
Guys, I'm on to my next encounter with my sister here in a few minutes. Start out here. Just relax and let you.
Smells like rice.
Yeah.
Are you drinking coffee?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I got one from the joint because I swung by and asked Lori if they want to give us
Oh.
some.
Did the diet? I was thinking the diet truck Coke might have been what turned over on the highway yesterday or something.
No, I actually am gonna. There's a carbonated drink that Michelle drinks. I'm gonna start trying that instead. It's just water and it's carbonated.
What is it?
It's like it says it's bottled in Nicaragua, but it's just really, really high carbonation. Because that's what I like. Is because those have the most out of any
Is that
drink.
like the hydrogen water?
No, I'll tell you about that when we're off camera.
Okay.
Hey guys, we're gonna be doing a sloth encounter here in just a minute. I'm just getting the camera set up, okay?
Are you leaving TikTok in there?
I'm gonna move it in just a minute.
Okay. All right. You already get them okay?
Yes. Well, I didn't say about the video yet. That's the part I didn't say.
All right, guys, we are ready for you.
Thank you for coming out. I love your flannel, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Great color.
Thank you.
Good to see you guys.
Thank you guys
Have a
so
great
much.
day.
Is that, is that you want this? Oh, what is your? I'm so sorry.
Oh,
God, God, dang it.
my
Oh, it scared me to death. I didn't know it was
This
right
is
there.
the armadillo.
I know, I felt something go. I've never seen an armadillo. That's,
Oh,
So they're actually kind of related. They're both Zathorans. So giant anteaters, sloths, and armadillos all have the curved spine. He's like, what's going on? What's going on? He's really friendly.
I just felt something off.
All right, they're both.
all right.
You guys have a great day.
You too, thank you.
Good to meet y'all.
Good to meet you.
Guys, sorry about all the camera movement. We're just moving from one animal encounter to another. Let's see if we can spin this around. I'm not trying to make you sick, I promise. Hey guys, we're gonna be getting started here in just a second. But this is Flash that you're looking at. He is a two-toed or a two-fingered sloth. And we're live here at Cody Riverside Farm. And you guys are probably gonna get to watch people feed Flash. We're located in Benton, Tennessee, halfway between Chattanooga and Knoxville.
Come on in.
Oh my gosh, look at that.
That's an armadillo. He's
Yes.
just running right all over the place. He always
You're
does.
so cute.
It's always hot in here. You might want to hang your coat. It's 80 degrees in here pretty much all the
Feels
time.
amazing in
Do
here.
all the holding. I'm good.
That comes in part two. Yeah, all right.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and it's very often the case that one is the sloth lover and one is the sloth enabler. So we are totally accustomed to that. Yeah, but thanks for telling us.
You guys can come on
I've
around.
never seen one other outside of the room.
Are you guys staying here today?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We just talked about that because I just set up the early check-in. Yeah.
Tonight
Right.
and tomorrow night.
Excellent. All right, so this is Flash's breakfast, and surprisingly, he is going to eat pretty much all of that. So you guys are welcome to feed him, and I'll show you a couple things first. Rules of the game. This is food. This goes in his mouth. This is not food. This does not go in his mouth. He can't see the difference between these two things. His vision is terrible. So don't put your finger inside of his mouth. Don't put your finger inside of my mouth. Either one of us might bite you if you stick your finger in our mouth. All right, and when you feed him his breakfast, he's gonna hang right down. He just has to know it's breakfast time. He was a little late, so we changed up sloths on the last half hour. Hey, come here, Bob. I was out dealing with frozen pipes this morning, so we had just a small bit of a late start. Hey, Flash. So you're gonna give him his food just like that. And I'm going to show you one thing here before you start, because we're going to talk about this right off the bat. A two-fingered sloth is put together a lot like a slinky, and you're going to see that the two-fingered sloth can pretty much rotate around until his hips are about 180 out from his shoulders. And we're going to talk about that in just a second, but see how much that dude can rotate around, right? And this armadillo may crawl up your legs. He won't get any higher than your ankle, though. So this is his breakfast, and he is going to eat pretty much all of that, and you're going to feed him. Well, I tell you some things about sloths that you probably don't know. So sloths this guy is a two-fingered sloth. Alive in the world today, there are two-fingered and three-fingered sloths. Traditionally, they're called two-toed and three-toed, but it makes more sense to call them fingered because they all have three toes on the back feet. Two-fingered have two on the front, three-fingered have three on the front. They are set up a little differently, and you're welcome to start feeding him his breakfast. They are set up a little differently. So a three-fingered sloth has 9 vertebrae in their cervical spine between their skull and their shoulders. A three-fingered sloth has 3 vertebrae of a tail. A two-fingered has 5 vertebrae in their cervical spine, and he has no tail. So those extra 7 vertebrae that are missing from the neck and from the tail are between the hips and shoulders of the two-fingered sloth, and that is why the two-fingered sloth will turn if this is his shoulders and these are his hips. He'll turn until he's about 180 apart on the hips and shoulders, and the three-fingered does most of his turning from the neck, so he's going to turn until his head is 270 around like an owl does. So, for us, if we were turning, we could get about 90. Maybe a gymnast could do better than I can, but I could do about 90. He can do about 180. That's the rice cooker.
Okay.
So, cooking them their dinner right now. So the sloths are, the other differences between them, a two-fingered sloth is marginally bigger and somewhat quicker than a three-fingered sloth. Nowhere near as quick as this armadillo that's dashing around the floor. But they are somewhat bigger and somewhat quicker than a three-fingered. But to describe a two-fingered sloth as slower than any other mammal on Earth, you could only be talking about a three-fingered sloth. They're not track stars by any stretch of the imagination.
So the two finger is a little bit faster than the
A little
three
bit faster,
finger.
yeah.
Okay.
And if you read online, it's going to tell you that a two-fingered sloth can move about 12 feet per minute. I personally see this guy regularly move about 40 feet per minute. And I say that because he doesn't live here. This is where he lives, is in here. And you'll get to see him go up at the end of his thing.
Yeah.
And he goes, when we open his door and say, "Hey, Flash," he comes from the very top all the way down out into the room ready for his encounter. And it takes him about 30 seconds to do that. Most days. Today he was slow. But most days takes him about 30 seconds. That would have to be about 40 feet per minute, something like that. But, and of course, that's not a distance speed. That's just, I'm ready to see the people. So all of our sloths here only do 2 encounters per day. So it is the high point of their day. They genuinely look forward to it. He does get breakfast during his encounter, but if he didn't come down for his encounter, we would just move to another sloth and we would put all of his breakfast in his room. No repercussion for the sloth for not feeling like playing around one day. It's okay. I had a bad day once.
Yeah.
But it's been years, but I had a bad day once. But so anyway, sloths are slow, famously slow.
So how do they, like if predators come in, you know, like
They
how
die.
fast? Okay, so they
So,
can't really get away.
Well, no, there's a trick to it. When they're in the top of the trees, they are entirely safe from predators with the one exception of eagles. Because the sloth only weighs 15 pounds, so he can go a whole lot further out to the end of the branches than the big old cat can come up after him. But if the cat pressed the issue to the point that the branch broke and they both fell
Yeah.
all the way to the rainforest floor, this slinky-like sloth is almost certain to survive the fall, and the cat is almost certain to die. So they'll be laying on the ground and the sloth will say, ha, ha, and back up the tree he will go. So, and in the tops of the trees, the eagles can get to him, but we'll talk about that a little more. But the normal cause of death for a wild sloth is they come down the tree to go to the bathroom and a predator gets them. And that's normally cause of death. They don't die of old age. They are prey animals, not predator animals. So in the wild, in the rainforest, they're going to live about, you know, what they tell us is they're going to live about 20 years. In captivity, a captive bred sloth is going to live about 50 years. A sloth that was kidnapped out of the rainforest and somebody tried to make it be a pet, they say the average lifespan is only 2 or 3 months on those. So I always give a disclaimer on all of my lives. Please don't watch what we're doing and give yourself the impression it's a good idea to go buy yourself a sloth. Please don't do that. It is extremely unlikely to go well for either you or the sloth. These are multiple generation captive bred animals. They are as far from the rainforest as I am from the Nina, Pinta, and Santa Maria. If you find a sloth that is available that you can purchase online, you are buying a wild caught sloth. That is an animal kidnapped out of the rainforest and brought to the States for sale. Don't do that. It's not going to go well. So, and this guy, we only pet him. The next one is the one that we hold. This guy was in a static display for 2 years before we had him. So he was not people oriented from a young age. So this encounter that we're doing, this was about 2 years in the making.
Oh, wow.
So it took about a year till he decided he would prefer to eat out of my hand instead of the bowl. And the method on that was not to withhold food from him, just to take food out of his bowl and offer it to him for an hour and see if he wanted to eat it.
And
And
you
if
didn't want
not,
this one.
back in the bowl and still gets all the same food as if he had eaten out of my hand. So it took about a year till he decided he really would prefer to eat from me than from the bowl, and another number of months till he was comfortable to be around just strangers all the time. And now, you know, he does his 2 encounters a day and he looks forward to it. But he thought he was done with his breakfast. Got to give it to him a little quicker than that.
I wasn't fast
Hey.
enough.
Hey, Bubba, we still got your breakfast, dude. We have not abandoned you or your stomach. Hey, come here. Still breakfast time. He's like, well, I thought I was a little short, but I wasn't sure. Just keep giving us breakfast. He'll come right back down. So just lead him back this way a little bit. You'll get better pictures if he comes out of that corner. We keep it pretty dark in here because of the sloth's eyes. Not the best for the camera, but best for his eyes. And sloths have a structure to their eyes called rod monochromacy, which means that they have all rod cells, no cone cells, and chromatic vision, black and white. So in bright sunlight, the sloth is entirely blind. In this level of light, he sees shapes and shadows, but he can't see the difference between me and you. And at night, he does see better, but he doesn't see well at any time of day. He is not a high vision kind of guy. Go in there for a while, Bob.
He digs around your.
I know, I was
He's taking
digging on
his
him
little
on your
feet.
foot and
Yeah, I thought he was bothering you.
No, he wasn't bothering me.
Oh, well.
He was fine.
Baku, you want to come back out?
You go, baby.
He's gonna check out the neighbor's room. He lives in that room.
Okay.
So, so these sloths, we said they're slow in every way. Slow in their digestion. So the first studies on how slowly a sloth digests its food, they put some tiny 3 millimeter glass beads into some sloth's food and waited to see how long it took them to come out the other end. That was 61 to 64 days. So that was the starting out theory on how slowly a sloth digests its food. No one seriously believes that anymore. It just seems that food doesn't go, glass beads don't go through a sloth the same way that food does. So the second study on that, they put some tiny glass beads in, they put some durable dyes into some sloth food and waited to see how long it took the colors to come through. And that worked out in the 18 to 30 day time frame. So that is the current theory on how slowly a sloth digests. So they digest very slowly, but they eat a tremendous amount of food. You can see how much food that is compared to the size of him, right? He is going to eat 10% of his body weight every single day. So and yet he goes to the bathroom only 3 or 4 times a month, once in 7 to 10 days. So that means that if it's not the gate,
His ocean.
Yeah. So that means that if the sloth goes 10 days between trips to the bathroom and he ate 10% of his body weight every day, he has eaten approximately 100% of his body weight since he last went to the bathroom. Now, primarily what he's eating is leaves. He's eating right now about 7 ounces of veggies, and then throughout the day he'll eat about 1 pound of leaves. Leaves are...
Is there any particular type of leaf that they like?
Pretty much anything, yeah. Leaves are of very little nutritional value, and they're hard to digest, mainly cellulose, So he digests the food and metabolizes, as in converts to energy, very much of the food, but he still makes a huge amount of waste. So if he's eating 100% of his weight, he is going to eliminate about 1/3 of his natural body mass when he goes to the bathroom. I happen to have weighed the other one before she went to the bathroom and after last time. She weighed 14.5 pounds before and 11.1 after. So that is literally 1/3 of her body weight. So that's sort of a wow, but if you put it to human perspective, it's a stunner. So I weigh 180 pounds. That would be me rolling into Outback and saying, bring me 18 of those 16-ounce porterhouse steaks, and I'm gonna plow them all down right now, right? Sounds like fun, if you could manage it. I can't manage it, but he's gonna do that every day. And so again, human perspective, if I were to eliminate 1/3 of my body weight all at once, come back this way a little bit, it'll come to the light. If I was going to eliminate 1/3 of my body weight all at once, that would be me.
You're fine. I just was giving it back to you.
Oh, that would be me eliminating about 60 pounds of waste all at one shot in about 2 minutes. If you wanted to see how a sloth goes to the bathroom, you could back up through our videos a little bit to find where the sloth is down at the bottom of the tree, and the cover of it says sloth potty dance. And that's how a sloth goes to the bathroom. And so the strange thing about it is the sloth is safe in the top of the tree, right? With the exception of eagles. Yet he comes down the same tree, same side of the tree every single time to go to the bathroom in the same place he always goes. So, with many scientific things, they start out with some stupid ideas and zero in on some correct ideas a lot of the time. Sometimes they never do get to the correct idea. Like if they dug up the skeleton of one of these things and they were not still existent in the world, they would surely come up with some sort of an apex predator theory, because his claws are massive, his teeth are huge, his arms are longer than his body, and his legs are longer than his arms. So surely they would draw up some sort of an apex predator swinging around the trees and eating everything in sight, right? They would be very unlikely to come up with a slow, peaceful creature who's going to hide from predators for all his life based on his body structure. But of course they would not have seen one live, so they'd be working on limited information, which we see all over the scientific record. But, so the first theory on why the sloth always goes to the bathroom in the same place is they're just neat animals. Obviously that makes no sense. These are not the Adrian monks of the rainforest. They're not going to risk their life because they're just a neat animal, right? Come on, right? And the next theory was that they're fertilizing their own tree. Well, again, no sense. If you went to the bathroom from anywhere in the canopy of the tree, it's going to land above the root system of the tree. Fertilization-wise, no difference. So The current understanding is that the reason why the sloth comes down the same tree, same side of the tree, and goes to the bathroom on the exact same pile he always goes on is the sloth-moth symbiotic relationship. So in the wild, not here, praise the Lord, in the wild, sloths need moths and moths need sloths.
Really?
So, yep, the nature of that symbiosis, which symbiotic means beneficial to both sides, parasitic would be beneficial to one side, neutral or harmful to the other side. You have the exact bracelet that we have. Did you get that from Fallow?
Yes.
Yeah, which sloth are you tracking?
Churro.
Which one?
Churro.
Oh, I don't think, we don't have churro, do we?
My grandkids
On our
gave that
cards?
to me for Christmas.
Oh, nice, yeah. We have those available here, and you know, the money all goes to Fallow,
Yeah.
and then through them to
He's down in the
slothconservation.org.
Puerto Rico area.
Yeah, yeah.
That's where he's at.
Yeah, so show the people the bracelet. These bracelets, and we have them here if you're out here, and we only charge $20 for these.
Sloth on it.
You get a bracelet and you get a QR code to live track wild sloth in the rainforest. It's pretty interesting. They move a lot more than you would think they would move.
I wish
How
I
much-
could get
what's
a,
the-
I wish I could get a closer look at him. But
Yeah.
I only can get the videos that they send over.
Yeah, what is the furthest you've seen your sloth move in a single day?
How many miles was it? He moved.
Feeding.
Like 16. It may not have been. that.
Probably like 1.6 miles in a day.
You might, yeah.
Yeah, they
Um,
move further than I thought. They used to think that sloths lived in one tree or a very small set of trees because of the bathroom thing.
I looked at him
Now-
this morning, but didn't think to see how far he